before getting to that, one of the things that caught my attention had to do with pregnancies. So you talked about having the first full-term pregnancy below the age of 20.
Yes.
Is there a medical or scientific reason behind that?
Well, let me just say this. When you have this risk factor, it doesn't mean you must come down with cervical cancer. Just know that it's, increasing your chances.
Okay.
All right. If you had a chance of, let's say, 50%, for instance, and you have this risk factor, it increases it to, like, let me say 80%. I'm just using that as an example. So someone that has had a full-term pregnancy below the age of 20 years, doesn't mean the person must have cervical cancer. It just means that the person it has reached, because most times these ladies, they've not been vaccinated, all right, and they're already sexually active, and the person has already started engaging in sexual activity. The person is at risk of being infected with the virus. Do you get? And the person can come down with it.
Okay. You also talked about this, also aligns with the multiple pregnancies. Spoke about multiple pregnancies beyond 3, 4. So, are you not advising parents or adults that want to have children to not have more than 4?
No, you can have as many children as you want, but I believe it's wise, even considering the state of our economy, and for the fact that you should have children that you'll be able to take care of. So if you know that having many children is going to put you at risk, why not, reduce the number? But if you choose to, you will also come down with cervical cancer. It's just that it's increasing your chance of having it.
Yeah. So the major cause is the HPV, and it's majorly via sexual exposure. Are there other means the HPV can be transmitted?
Yes, it can be gotten through skin contact, like skin to skin. Yes.
Okay. So the contraction of the virus now, this HPV, that might eventually lead to cervical cancer does not necessarily have to be via sexual intercourse, or for the lady to have cervical cancer, it must be through sexual intercourse.
Yes. So we should know that it's majorly through sexual contact.
Okay.
All right. Because that's let me say, the most common means of transferring the particular type of HPV that causes cervical cancer. I did mention this. There are 2 types of HPV that cause cervical cancer, majorly, that cause 90% of cervical cancer. These are the HPV type 16 and 18.
Okay.
All right. So, and these ones are usually transmitted through sexual contact.
Okay. Yes. I get it. So, you also mentioned being overweight.
Yes.
Overweight exposes.
Okay. So people that are overweight are predisposed to a lot of, health conditions.
Okay.
All right. It also reduces their immune system. That is just it. This HPV, normally, it can go away on its own. Okay. But another risk factor is a low or a weak immune system.
Okay.
So, like I said, obesity can reduce your immune system, and your body's ability to fight off some, disease-causing agents will be reduced. So that is why it's good to maintain a healthy weight so that your body can function effectively.
Okay, so I guess that's where the low intake of fruits and vegetables come in, because they help
to build immune system.
The immune system, and that's so. There's also something I've read, and I don't think you mentioned it, but I just want to be certain about it. Long-term use of oral contraceptive pills.
Yes. We didn't mention that, but that is another risk factor. Long-term use of oral contraceptive pills. It's hormonal. All right. And these things, like, over time, they sort of alter the body cells. Like, they have a way of reacting with it, just like smoking. For people that smoke, all those cigarettes and all those substances they smoke, they contain poisonous substances that can react with our body cells, destroy their normal structure, all right, and now make them to start functioning abnormally, and they grow out of proportion, and they are predisposed, all right, to all these cancers and all of that. So that is just it.
All right, you see Health Talk here on AETV Live with Ogaga Ekamam with Dr. Chidima Wogo, and the conversation has been on cervical cancer. Stay with us.